Hi, Nastasia. How you doing? I don't know. I think you've done a really, really good job. I think you've done a really good job. I mean, this is great. Crafts is really good. I think there's a couple of issues here that we really need to address. I, you know, it's so difficult to do this by hand, and I think that you guys have done such a good job that it's really, really. I feel kind of bad pointing out these little areas because I know how difficult this assignment is. But nonetheless, let's take a look at some areas. The distance between the F and the I is it's pretty large. It's really large. It needs to be pulled in. Of course, you're going to have that issue with the dot and the serif. So watch that, but try to get that in there. That space is amplified because of these open areas in the F, so it makes it look bigger than it is. And then you can also close down the whole word fire a little bit. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because I think this is pretty good. But this area just a little bit closer right through there, that's going to definitely help. Um, Word spacing is pretty good, though the space between fire and it looks like a little bit greater than the word spacing between and ice. So you'll want to watch that. The A looks a little bit, let me jump over here and see if I can find that A. I just want to see something. Where did I put that? Okay, so if we take a look at the A, oh, this is so difficult to do without PDFs, but here we go. I'm sorry about this. I should have had this done. Okay, there we go. Okay, take a look at the A. See that counter to the A, that the shape this has a teardrop like right there. And this is more of a circle or an oval. So watch that. And then take a look here where that A almost aligns vertically perfectly, whereas this, you're really tucked in there. That protrudes a lot further than the counter of that A. So watch that. Okay, let's get back here and okay. So then iced I and C is a little too wide. You want to bring that in, and then that is a little too close. That C is right on top of that E, so you want to adjust that. Other than that, I mean, you're doing really good stuff. Um, in essence, this is too loose, this is perfect, and this is too tight. Okay, so, and then that space right there is a little wider than that. Other than that, I think if we take a look at your X heights, we can see that right here, see that E, don't forget that thing called overshoot. So if we drop right down there, and I'm looking right here, I'm looking at what's protruding underneath that straight edge right there. You can see that E right there, don't forget that overshoot. That's a little part that just hangs a little bit over the baseline. And the same thing with this C over here. You can clearly see that E, as I put the baseline down there, the C is way above the E, very clearly, both in the baseline and in the mean line. You can clearly see that the C is much, much higher and bigger than the E. Okay. Other than that, looking great. Awesome job. Any questions or comments, give me a holler. Thanks, Nastasia.